Stephen Miller, while he was not smothering baskets of puppies to death, he was on CNN and was clashing with Jake Tapper over Trump's number one, invasion of Venezuela, number two, saying, hey, we should also take Greenland, territory of our ally and a NATO country, and saying Cuba should also maybe be overthrown. Someone said, oh, do you want to engage either Colombia or Cuba in a military operation there? And he was like, sounds good to me, was the quote. Sounds good to me. And then Colombia, maybe we had to go to overthrow there. And Mexico. So a lot going on here. And let's look at this screaming fest from Stephen Miller when Jake Tapper confronted him on some of this.
Apparently, over the future of Greenland.
One last question, Stephen.
Doesn't make any sense.
One last question. The president was very quick to say that the recipient of the Nobel Peace Prize, opposition leader Machado in Venezuela, doesn't have the support in Venezuela to become the next president or the interim leader. And I wonder where he got that from, given that her cutout, Gonzalez, won the election last year 2 years ago, overwhelmingly, 70% of the vote or something like that. Why does the president think that Machado should not be the next leader? Why does he think she's weak?
First of all of Venezuela experts agree. All Venezuela experts agree that it would be absurd and preposterous for us to suddenly fly her into the country and to put her in charge. And the military would follow her, and the security forces would follow her. This is not a serious. It's not even a serious.
Interesting point. The U.S. government going into a country, removing the leader, however illegitimate he was, which he was, and going, this will be the leader now, however popular she is, and I think she is, won't necessarily logistically end well, given where's the loyalty of the military, what's staffing all the government now, who are those people loyal to, how do we manage all of that coming in from the U.S.? But you screaming that that's irrational doesn't make us look bad. It makes you look bad, because at least Machado has support in the country. Who are you thinking? You, probably. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your new president, Stephen Miller. To which every single Venezuelan kid goes, ah! Jump scare.
Question.
So should there be an election?
Let me, if you give me the floor for 30 seconds, let me tell you what we are doing here, Jake. The United States, this is sort of foundation.
So wait, hear this, because this is so quintessentially dishonest media speaking. The question is, how are you going to replace Maduro? You say you control Venezuela now, which is not really true, but that's what you're saying. And that you're going to run it for a while. And that there's going to be a transition. To who? Whom? Who? Whom? Who? What person is it going to be transitioned to? Right? That's the question. And is that going to be through just going, Machado's your new president, and hoping it goes over well? Or is it going to be through trying to facilitate U.S. enforced an election, which already it's like, oh gosh, here we go. This is how it gets really bad very quickly, which is why we're opposed to it. But that's the question. The question's not Dunroe Doctrine. The question's not, well, we should get the oil. What are you going to do in that transition that you're saying you're doing? By your explanation.
Seconds, let me tell you what we are doing here, Jake. The United States, this is sort of foundational. The United States is using its military to secure our interests unapologetically in our hemisphere. We're a superpower, and under President Trump, we are going to conduct ourselves as a superpower. It is absurd that we would allow a nation in our own backyard to become the supplier of resources to our adversaries, but not to us, to hoard weapons from our adversaries, to be able to be positioned as an asset against the United States rather than on behalf of the United States.
Sovereign countries shouldn't be able to do what they want to do.
The Monroe Doctrine and the Trump Doctrine is all about securing the national interests of America. For years, we sent our soldiers to die in deserts in the Middle East to try to build them parliaments, to try to build them democracies, to try to give them more oil, to try to give them more resources.
So now it's okay because we're doing it in our hemisphere? Quote unquote, our hemisphere? Which, increasingly given modern weaponry and the global connectivity of the world, becomes a much less relevant concept.
Future of the free world, Jake, depends on America being able to assert ourselves and our interests without apology. This whole period that happened after World War II, where the West began apologizing and groveling and begging
I don't even
and
know,
engaging these
honestly,
vast
what you're talking
reparations
about right
schemes,
now.
It's a
Yes, Jake. Yes. Sometimes he's a little bit of a douche. Jake is. I would never say douche, but like a little douche. You know what I mean? Like there's a little difference. He's just but sometimes he's your douche. You know what I mean? Like whenever he's doing it to Anderson Cooper, give me my show back, like that leaked clip, you're kind of like, But whenever he's doing it for a cause you agree with, it's like, clean me out. It was right there. And the audience was begging me to go there. Okay, so I don't know what Stephen Miller's talking about. I do-ish, but it doesn't make sense. Like, post-World War II, we started groveling and we started being babies. Wait, you mean when we became more powerful and influential in the world than we ever had been? That post-World War II era, when the world order is defined by us? That post-World War II order where you draw the line and say, this is when the era of the American world order begins? That post-World War II era is when we became super woke and weak?
And groveling and begging
I don't even
and
know,
engaging these
honestly,
vast
what you're talking
reparations
about right
schemes.
now.
What I'm talking about, Jake, is the idea, and by the way, you do. I know you love doing that smarmy thing, Jake, and I was hoping to be better than that this time.
I asked you about if there should be an election.
Exactly.
I asked you if there would be an election in Venezuela. That's what I asked. I said, why was the president so quick to dismiss Machado? You answered that question. And then I said,
the objective, Jake, is security and stability for the people of Venezuela. With our help and leadership, that country will become more prosperous than it has ever been in its whole history. Venezuelans.
But the woman running Venezuela right now is part of the Maduro.
I thought y'all were doing America First, where you make us prosperous before trying to make Venezuela prosperous.
Ever been in its whole history. Venezuelans.
But the woman running Venezuela right now is part of the Maduro regime.
Better off. Well, there will be conversations, Jake, about all of these guideposts along the way. The reason why I was giving you that speech, which I know you didn't want to hear, is because you're approaching this from the wrong frame. This neoliberal frame that the United States' job is to go around the world and demanding immediate elections to be held everywhere, immediately, all the time, right away. To create these vacuums.
That's not what I think, but you invaded the country. We went into the country and we seized the leader of Venezuela.
Right.
Damn straight we did.
And I'm saying,
we're not going to let.
So is the U.S. going to have new elections?
Jake, is that we're not going to let Tim Pot communist dictators send rapists into our country, send drugs into our country, send weapons into our country.
Okay.
And we're not going to let a country fall into the hands of our adversaries. The future of Venezuela, working with America, is going to be so bright and so incredible and so positive, and we'll have a conversation about everything that you raised. But the priority right now, as the president has been made clear, is a judicious, thoughtful, careful transition process to secure a...
To who? That's what he was asking the whole time. To who? Boo-hoo. To who? Stephen, you know the question. Will there be elections? He's like, y'all just want us running around the world telling people to have elections. No. Just after you grabbed the leader and invaded the country, then we're curious if you're going to have elections. What a crazy thing for him to say. This is what neolibs think. We should go around the world imposing our will, saying, have an election, have an election. Putin, your elections aren't fair. It's just so smarmy. And then you go, what? No, I'm only asking because you invaded and took over the country. And took the leader, so who is it next? Because if it's all just to transfer the power to his loyalist VP, then that didn't seem worth it. Not that it would be anyways.
great future for Venezuela and to secure a great future for America.
All right.
Let's just take a moment and just acknowledge, Jake, that what we've witnessed under President Trump's leadership this last week is one of the greatest foreign policy and military victories this country has ever had.
Stephen Miller, thank you so much. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
A lot there to discuss. The panel's here.
Yeah, wow.
There's something fucked up about that motherfucker.
Hey, I didn't say it. That was Hunter. Take it up with Hunter.
For us. Thank you very much for doing that.
Well, first of all, thank you, Sean, for leading the month-long effort to end the CNN boycott of yours truly. And so very fittingly, and it wasn't planned this way, but the boycott ended today, and I'm here tonight in the aftermath of the first CNN interview in which I think we can safely say that Jake Tapper didn't have what he needed to handle my my responses.
I would say that.
Oh. These are the most powerful people in our country. That's really disturbing. Look, just for a second. Just for a second, look. He is the shadow president in many ways. It's very disturbing. Yeah, there he is. There he is. I mean, if we were going to be led by insane movie villains, that would be it. This is what it would look like. Sleep well, everybody. That's today's show.